Welcome to another episode of the Business Challenge. My name's Hayden, and in this YouTube series and this podcast series, I document my business journey, hence the Business Challenge, where I'm trying to get this business to be really successful. I'm trying to become a very successful entrepreneur, and I thought for your benefit, I would share that. As I said, my name's Hayden. If you haven't seen this before, then make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of usual stuff. If you have seen it before, thanks so much. I appreciate it more than you know, and I hope that this episode is also one that you really like. So I'm going to be really raw and honest and genuine as I try to be all the time on this podcast, especially in this episode. It's been busy. It's been crazy. It's been one of the craziest times that I've ever had in business the last month or so. We've had cash flow issues. We've had products that have been deactivated. We've had just a sheer amount of work going on. We've expanded like the agency, for example, that I started. And it's just been full on, like I've made the decision to start some private label brands as well. I'm working on some new stuff with my new mentor, and it's been full on. But I want to talk about why that's the only route and why that's a good thing. There's only a certain few people, and you're probably one of them watching this, right, that actually enjoy like that hustle and actually enjoy that race. There's not many people that enjoy or think they would enjoy starting, multiple brands, launching multiple products, launching new businesses, launching new agencies, dealing with cash flow issues, reinvesting as much money as possible, so much that you're not even sure how you're going to pay yourself that month or the next month. There's not many people that want to endure them challenges, but the weird few of us, me being included in this, although it's like a love-hate relationship, we love it and we hate it at the same time. And I'm definitely one of them, like I thrive off it. It gives me all the life inside me. I spring out of bed in the morning, unless I've been working till 1, 2 in the morning before, but I spring out of bed in the morning. I go after it. I'm chasing it. I've got the fear of like financial burdens with like money going out, money coming in, money up and down. Are we going to be able to pay all the staff this month? Are we going to pay all our prep bills, our warehouse costs that we pay our prep center? Or is it going to be absolutely fine? And I'm more motivated when things are on the edge, when things are squeaky bum time, like now, for example, it's Q4, we're piling in stock, and there's no way we made money last month with the amount of stock that we bought, but this month and next month should be a huge profit month. But unless you're actually in it, it's hard to stomach the reality of dealing with that and dealing with that risk, because you never know what could happen. There's huge risk in every business. But I thrive off that, and I'm most passionate when things are tough, when things are hard. But at the same time, I hate it. And it's really not for everyone, Sometimes I just think, I've taken on way too much more than I can chew here. And I should just chill out now. I should just stop working so much, get myself to like just a few grand a month profit and just live a comfortable life. But then I just can't let that happen. Because there's this screaming side of me, nothing to do with money. Money's just a way to track stuff, but it's nothing to do with money. It's just chasing that thing, chasing the next big thing. It's the grind, it's the doing the thing, it's the process that I just love doing. And money's just a way to track that. Although I do love money as well, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. I think a lot of people do, and they're scared to talk about it, especially in the UK. But here's the thing. You can't get to a big place in entrepreneurship and in business without taking these big risks, without having that fear, without getting past that. And I was saying this to my girlfriend last night. She said that, you're surrounded by these people that are really successful now, like in your businesses. And obviously I'm successful to a certain level as well, and things are growing for me. She said, you've got all these contacts now, these people. She was like, that's really good that you've got these people around you that are really successful. And I said, yeah, but it's not. She said it in monetary terms, in terms of how much money they earn. And I said, yeah, but it's not about the money. It's about the person they had to become to get that money. It's like the person that I've had to become to get the success that I've got. You know, like my mentor doing over 100 million a year, like the person that he's had to become to build his business to that stage. That's the value. You know, you want to surround yourself with people that have got that high energy and that passion and that purpose, rather than just going, oh, you know, I'm worried about this and this and this, you know, and just constantly living in this low frequency, which a lot of people are. And that's not to say that everyone's got to chase it in a big way, but there's too many people that are operating on like 10 or 20% of their potential. So if I'm screaming out at 80 or 90% of my energy, trying to achieve big things, and so are people around me, I notice it so clearly when I start hanging around with people that are operating at like a 1 or a 2 or a 3 out of 10 compared to their potential. When I would say I'm operating at a 9 or an 8 or a 9, not that I'm achieving my potential, but the energy I'm giving to try and do that is an 8 or a 9, where a lot of people are down here at like 1, 2s or 3s. And when you're chasing it, and you're surrounded by 8s and 9s that are also chasing it. I don't mean looks or anything like that, by the way, guys. I mean people that are giving their energy to chase this stuff that they're passionate about. You notice it so clearly when you're around someone that's got a low vibrational energy in this stuff. And that's just true. So, yeah, I mean, let me know in the comments if you got this far and you also notice this big time. But it is a big thing. So you got to hang around. You got to surround yourself with people that are really like that. Doesn't mean you can't have your old friends, obviously, but you just need to be around people that are really going for it and going towards what brings them energy, and that could be anything. But it's easy to notice people that aren't doing that. But other than that, look, things have been crazy. I'm not gonna deny that in any way, shape, or form. You know, I've been one of the most stressed I've ever been in the last 6 to 8 weeks. You know, preparing for Christmas, moving house, starting a new business, launching brands. You know, I'm 100% launching some private label brands as we speak and into next year. I am pushing things harder than ever. I've got my agency that I'm going to be that we're working on right now, grinding it out with that. It's going to take a year, 2 years till we see a big return on that. I have no doubt. But it's one of them things that you got to, as soon as you start the compounding, it starts moving. Every business that I've had, right, has done the same thing, right? My social media stuff, my e-commerce company, and now what will be the agency. It's hard to fail when you're in a business model that has got potential, that you give your time to it and understand this sort of formula. It's quite hard to fail in it. And that formula sort of goes like this, okay? Not an exact formula, this is just how it works, okay? And I've been there and done this. This is how it works. You start a business model, you feel unsure how it works, okay? You spend 6 months trying to figure that out. At the end of that 6 months, you generally have a good solid foundation of how that works, okay? Then you move on to the next stage. And the next 6 months is where you start building a little bit of momentum. You know, maybe you've just started making profit, or you've just started working with suppliers, or you've just started getting a few views on your content, for example, whatever business you're in. First year's for learning. And then the second year, you start to compound that first year of actions. The second year, the first 6 months is usually some sort of results. You're just starting to get that spark where you see some sort of spark in that. You see some sort of results coming your way. The next 6 months of the second year generally goes something along the lines of, wow, this is really starting to pick up some momentum. Still not amazing. You're still unsure, maybe a little bit insecure in yourself as to, is it going to work out in the big way that you want it to work out? But you stick it out. Then you get into year 3. Year 3 is a solid foundational year. It's a year that you see big progress. You see yourself pushing things. You're getting a lot of views. You've got an engaged audience. Or if you're doing some sort of product-based business or service-based business, you're starting to get regular sales, regular clients, okay? Then year 4, that's like a huge milestone, okay? This is for most people, by the way, that I see it happen. Year 4, you're sort of full of all this expertise in this business model or this income stream that you formed. And now it's just a case of taking a step back and a bird's eye view and really getting these solid foundations in, this solid planning in, so that you can take things to the next level and then seeing them results jump and jump and jump. That, for me, is how my sort of business stuff has gone. So when you know that as long as you're in a business model that people have made work, as long as you have got the skills or you can hire the skills to do it, and as long as you have the motivation to do it and you're going to put the hard work in initially, you have to work hard enough not to have to work, yeah? As long as you can work hard enough initially, then I would say that's generally how it goes, unless you're getting big seed funding, unless you're hitting it hard with loads of partners and injecting loads of money from it, okay? That's generally how it goes. It's not an overnight thing, but it's a slow burner, okay? So I understand that now. And for those that are willing to put the work in, most importantly, that's how things can go. So we're well in the early stages of that with the agency, but with the e-commerce company, I feel like next year is going to be huge. You know, I definitely think we will be over 1 million, hopefully surpass that quite a lot in next year. I mean, we've done about 1.2 million plus in pounds. Okay. So that's me converting my USA store sales into GBP and then my GBP sales combined. We've done way over 1.2 million in total sales now, but next year I think we will do over 1 million in that year. And then I think it's really going to start compounding now. And look, I don't care about like trying to rub that in anyone's face, because there's people that are watching this that do loads more than that. I don't care. It's nothing to do with boasting. It's just you guys have followed me for years, some of you, and I'm telling you what's happened and what the trajectory is. You know, money's just keeping score of progress. That's all it is. I don't care about fancy stuff or anything like that. It's just keeping progress, keeping score of that. Next year, I think we're doing 1 million. But the year after that, it could be 3 to 5 million. And I deep down believe that could happen. Because I'm now willing to take the risks, because I've got that expertise, I would say, and I've got that self-belief in myself, and I've got the right partners around me, and I think I've got access to funding in order to do that. Yeah, so that's the truth. I think it's going to be a fantastic year for the agency, but it's a foundational year. You know, it's a foundational year. It's as simple as that. I'm not expecting to take any profit out of the business for the whole of next year for the agency. And I'm also really interested in pushing my media stuff, you know, like doing this stuff. I'm now, after a few years, getting into a rhythm where I feel comfortable in myself. I never felt truly comfortable in myself doing this content before. I felt like I was trying to find my niche, trying to find what I really wanted to talk about. And that will reflect if you scroll back on some of the videos. You know, sometimes I'll do something about completely random topics. Sometimes I'll go a month or two just doing business stuff. Sometimes I'd go 6 months just talking about Amazon or just talking about something else. Sometimes I'd have ads inside of my videos. Sometimes I wouldn't. I've just spent so long trying to figure out what's right for me. And that's just necessary, what it takes. As long as you keep going, you're going to figure stuff out. And that's what I'm doing. And I believe that next year is going to be a huge year for my media stuff as well, because of the plans that I've got in place for that. But the running theme here is just sticking to stuff. I never used to stick to stuff. Once you start sticking to stuff, you start allowing yourself to make enough mistakes to then figure out, right, that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. Maybe this is the way to do it. And then you think, okay, that's the way to do it. And then you climb up the ladder a little bit and you go, I need to adjust that a little bit like that. That's not the way to do it. Climb up a little bit more. That's what I've been doing, you know? But it gets to a stage where you realize that that's happened to pretty much anyone that's got a huge social media following. And this is the same in most business models as well. They've just not given up and just spent so long working out how to get that to work, how to get this to grow, that once they do find their voice and once they realize they don't have to be in a certain niche necessarily because they are the niche themselves, that's when it starts to blow up. And look, it's realigning the goals as well. You know, the reason I feel so comfortable with my social media stuff now is that I didn't used to have goals of just consistency. My goal now is consistently putting out content that I actually think is good quality, that I like to put in front of my audience. Okay, very different goal to what I had before. Before I was looking at my subscribers saying grow, you know, or like the sponsors, like, I want more sponsors, grow. Now I don't do that. Now I want to give quality content that I actually enjoy making to my audience, that I can consistently push over time to grow it. But the goal is consistency. Because let me tell you, a lot of people that have got 100,000 subscribers right now, they're not going to be here in 5 years, you know, or TikTok or whatever. So without consistency, what's the point? And your voice starts changing as you grow as well, you know. Same as your voice in business. It starts growing and changing. If you've got an Amazon business now, an e-commerce business, a service-based business, whatever it is, that's going to be an entirely different business in 5 years, as long as you stick with it, and as long as you keep pushing, and as long as you're putting in more work than you think is necessary. Because generally I found that out as well. I thought I was putting in loads of work for the last year, and it took me in the last couple of months listening to a lot of Alex Hormozy to realise that actually, although I put in 10 times more work than most people, it's still not enough. To meet the goals that I've got, it's not enough, and that's okay. And I'm so glad that I realised that. But quite frankly, a lot of you will do a couple of hours work and get a little bit overwhelmed, go sit in the sauna at your local gym, go home and watch TV for the rest of the evening, and you'll get sidetracked by cleaning and food and going food shopping and stuff like that, and going for meals with your girlfriend or boyfriend or wife or husband, looking after the kids and stuff like that, which is all warranted stuff, by the way. But it just stops you making progress, and you think you're putting in a lot of work than you actually are. And that's just down to discipline. It's down to willing to put in the work, and it's down to working on the right thing and just consistently sticking at it. But then once you get that momentum building, as I'm talking about, it becomes a lot easier. But yeah, it is hard work, and it is a lot of sacrifice. But for those that are crazy enough, it's worth it. Guys, make sure you please like this video or subscribe to the YouTube channel or Spotify, wherever you're listening to this. I really would appreciate that. And please share with friends or family, anyone that you think might find this interesting. I'm not running any ads on this podcast, okay? I'm going to be relying on word of mouth to push this out. And I'm doing this because I genuinely love doing it. So I would really appreciate it if you rated this, shared it, and liked it wherever you are. And if you're listening on YouTube, please, I would really appreciate it. There's a link in the comments below. If you could go and follow on Spotify and also listen on there whenever you're driving or something like that. And then if you're on Spotify, if you could go ahead to YouTube, I'd really appreciate that as well. Guys, I will see you in the next video. My name's Hayden. Peace out. Peace out. Why do I keep saying that?